Imagine waking up one day and feeling like everything has changed. The world looks brighter, problems don't bother you as much, and you feel a deep sense of peace. This might sound like magic, but it's actually something that can happen to anyone. It's called a spiritual awakening, and it's more common than you might think. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever felt like there's more to life than what you can see? Like there's a bigger picture that you're just starting to understand? If you have, you might be experiencing the beginnings of a spiritual awakening. It's like waking up from a long sleep and seeing the world with fresh eyes. But here's the thing. A spiritual awakening isn't always a sudden, dramatic event like in the movies. For most people, it's a slow process that unfolds over time. It's like a flower blooming. It doesn't happen all at once, but bit by bit, until one day you look and realize how much has changed. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about spiritual awakening? Well, imagine having a tool that could help you find peace in a chaotic world, understand yourself better, and feel more connected to others and the world around you. That's what a spiritual awakening can offer. It's like upgrading the operating system of your mind and heart. But don't worry. You don't need to climb a mountain or spend years meditating in a cave to experience this. Spiritual awakening can happen right where you are in the middle of your everyday life. It's not about escaping reality, but about seeing reality more clearly and living in it more fully. So, whether you're feeling lost and looking for direction, or you're just curious about what lies beyond your current understanding of life, stick around. We're about to dive into the world of spiritual awakening, and trust me, it's a journey that could change everything. Now, you might be wondering who I am and why I'm talking about spiritual awakening. Well, I'm just like you, a regular person who stumbled upon this incredible journey. I'm not a guru living on a mountaintop or a saint who's got it all figured out. I'm someone who's been through the ups and downs of life and found something amazing along the way. A few years ago, I was living what many would call a normal life. I had a decent job, a nice place to live, and good friends. From the outside, everything looked fine, but inside, I felt empty. I kept asking myself, is this all there is to life? I was going through the motions, but I felt like something was missing. That's when my spiritual awakening began, though I didn't know it at the time. It started with small things, feeling more connected to nature, noticing synchronicities, those amazing coincidences that seem too perfect to be random, and having moments of unexpected joy and peace. At first, I thought I was just having a good day or a good week, but as time went on, I realized something deeper was happening. I started to see the world differently. I became more aware of my thoughts and feelings. I felt more connected to others and to the world around me. This journey hasn't always been easy. There have been times of confusion, doubt, and even fear. But overall, it's been the most incredible experience of my life. It's like I've discovered a whole new dimension to existence, one that was always there but that I couldn't see before. Now, I want to share what I've learned with you, not because I think I have all the answers, far from it, but because I believe that if this journey has been so transformative for me, it could be for you too. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to live your life. I'm here to share my experiences, offer some insights I've gained along the way, and maybe give you some tools that could help you on your own journey. Remember, your path will be unique to you. My experiences are just one example of what a spiritual awakening can look like. Your journey might be completely different, and that's okay. In fact, that's the beauty of it. Each of us has our own path to walk, our own truths to discover. So as we go through this together, I invite you to keep an open mind. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Trust your own inner wisdom. After all, the most important teacher on this journey is your own heart and soul. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive into the big question. What exactly is a spiritual awakening? It's a term you might have heard before, but it can be hard to pin down. That's because a spiritual awakening can look different for everyone, but at its core, it's about waking up to a deeper reality. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been watching a movie your whole life, totally absorbed in the story. Then suddenly, you realize you're not just watching the movie, you're also the one sitting in the theater. You become aware of a bigger picture. That's kind of what a spiritual awakening is like. In simple terms, a spiritual awakening is a shift in consciousness. It's when you start to see beyond the surface level of life and connect with something deeper. This something deeper might be called different things by different people: God, the universe, higher self, or simply a greater reality. The name doesn't matter as much as the experience itself. During a spiritual awakening, you might start to question things you've always taken for granted. You might ask big questions like, who am I really? Or what's the purpose of life? These aren't just philosophical musings, they come from a deep place inside you that's waking up and wanting to understand more. One of the key aspects of a spiritual awakening is a growing sense of connection. You might feel more connected to nature, to other people, or to the world as a whole. It's like realizing that we're all part of one big family, or that everything in the universe is interconnected. Another important part of spiritual awakening is becoming more aware of your inner world. You might start to notice your thoughts and feelings more. You might become more aware of patterns in your behavior or beliefs that you've never noticed before. It's like turning on a light in a room that's always been dark. Suddenly you can see things that were always there, but hidden. Spiritual awakening often brings a sense of expanded consciousness. You might have moments where you feel a deep sense of peace or joy that seems to come from nowhere. You might experience a sense of oneness with everything around you. These experiences can be brief at first, but they often become more frequent and lasting as your awakening progresses. It's important to understand that a spiritual awakening isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's like peeling away layers of conditioning and false beliefs to reveal your true nature underneath. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but it also sounds a bit scary. And you're right. It can be both wonderful and challenging. A spiritual awakening can shake up your whole world. It might challenge your beliefs, change your relationships, or make you question the path you're on in life. But many people who go through this process say that despite the challenges, they wouldn't trade the experience for anything. One thing to remember is that a spiritual awakening isn't a one-time event. It's more like a journey or a process. You don't just wake up one day and say, "Great, I'm spiritually awakened now." It's an ongoing unfolding, a gradual expansion of your awareness and understanding. Also, a spiritual awakening doesn't mean you suddenly have all the answers or that you never face problems again. In fact, you might find yourself facing your problems more directly than ever before. The difference is that you start to see these challenges as opportunities for growth rather than just obstacles to overcome. Another misconception about spiritual awakening is that it's always blissful. While it can bring moments of incredible joy and peace, it can also bring periods of confusion, doubt, and even fear. This is normal. It's like cleaning out a cluttered room. Things might look messier for a while as you're sorting through everything, but in the end, you're left with a clearer, more open space. Spiritual awakening can happen in many ways. For some people, it's triggered by a major life event, maybe a near-death experience, the loss of a loved one, or a major life change. For others, it happens more gradually, perhaps through practices like meditation or yoga. And for some, it seems to happen spontaneously, without any obvious cause. One of the beautiful things about spiritual awakening is that it's available to everyone. You don't need to be a certain type of person or have a specific background. It doesn't matter what religion you follow or don't follow, what your beliefs are, or what kind of life you've lived. Spiritual awakening is a natural part of human growth and development, even if not everyone experiences it in the same way or at the same time. As you go through a spiritual awakening, you might find that your priorities start to shift. Things that used to seem very important might start to feel less significant. You might feel drawn to spend more time in nature, to help others, or to explore spiritual teachings. You might find yourself less interested in material possessions and more interested in experiences and relationships. You might also notice changes in how you relate to others. Many people find that they become more compassionate and understanding. You might start to see the humanity in everyone, even people you disagree with. At the same time, you might find that some relationships change or fall away as you grow and change. One of the most profound aspects of spiritual awakening is a shift in how you see yourself. Many people describe it as a recognition that they are more than just their body and mind. There's often a sense of connecting with a deeper, more authentic self. This can bring a great sense of freedom and peace. It's worth noting that while spiritual awakening can bring many positive changes, it's not a cure, all for life's problems. You'll still face challenges and difficulties. The difference is in how you approach these challenges. You might find that you're better able to stay calm in difficult situations, or that you're able to find meaning even in hardships. Another important point is that spiritual awakening doesn't mean rejecting the material world or your everyday life. It's not about escaping reality, but about engaging with it more fully and consciously. You can have a spiritual awakening while still having a job, a family, and all the normal aspects of life. In fact, many people find that their awakening helps them engage more fully and joyfully with their everyday lives. As you go through this process, it's important to be patient and kind with yourself. Spiritual awakening is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity, and moments of confusion. That's all part of the process. The key is to stay open, curious, and compassionate with yourself and others. Remember, there's no one right way to have a spiritual awakening. Your journey will be unique to you. Trust your own experiences and insights. While it can be helpful to learn from others who have gone through similar experiences, ultimately, you are your own best guide on this journey. In the end, a spiritual awakening is about expanding your understanding of yourself and the world around you. It's about growing into a more authentic, aware, and compassionate version of yourself. It's a journey of discovery that can bring more depth, meaning, and joy to your life. As we continue, we'll explore some of the common signs of spiritual awakening, share more personal experiences, and look at some practices that can support you on this journey. Remember, whether you're just starting to feel curious about spiritual awakening or you're well along on your journey, you're exactly where you need to be. Every step of the way is part of the beautiful unfolding of your own unique path. Certainly, I'll continue with the next 3 sections of the script, maintaining the same style and depth as before. Now that we've talked about what a spiritual awakening is, you might be wondering, how do I know if I'm going through one? Well, there are some common signs that many people experience. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, so you might not experience all of these, or you might experience them in different ways. But these signs can give you a good idea of what to look out for. One of the most common signs of spiritual awakening is a feeling of connection to something bigger than yourself. This might feel like a sense of oneness with nature, with other people, or with the universe as a whole. You might find yourself looking at a sunset and feeling overwhelmed with awe and wonder. Or you might have moments where you suddenly feel a deep love for all of humanity. These feelings of connection can be powerful and sometimes even overwhelming. Another sign is a growing sense of inner peace. This doesn't mean you never feel upset or angry anymore, but you might notice that you're able to stay calm in situations that would have stressed you out before. You might find that you're less easily bothered by small annoyances. There's a sense of inner stillness that stays with you even when things around you are chaotic. Many people going through a spiritual awakening also experience changes in their sleep patterns. You might find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, often around 3 or 4 a.m. Some people call this the spiritual hour. You might also have vivid dreams or experience moments of heightened awareness just as you're falling asleep or waking up. A heightened sense of intuition is another common sign. You might start to trust your gut feelings more. You might have hunches that turn out to be right, or you might feel drawn to certain people or situations without knowing why. It's like you're tapping into a deeper wisdom that goes beyond your logical mind. Many people also report experiencing synchronicities, those amazing coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. Maybe you keep seeing the same number everywhere you look. Or perhaps you think of an old friend and then bump into them the next day. These synchronicities can feel like little winks from the universe, reminding you that there's more going on than meets the eye. A growing desire for authenticity is another sign of spiritual awakening. You might feel a strong urge to be true to yourself, even if that means going against social norms or expectations. You might start to question beliefs or behaviors that you've always taken for granted. This can be challenging, especially if it means making changes in your life, but it often comes with a sense of relief and freedom. Physical sensations can also be part of a spiritual awakening. Some people report feeling energy moving through their body, sometimes described as tingling or warmth. Others might experience changes in their eating habits, suddenly craving healthier foods or losing interest in things they used to enjoy. A shift in your relationship with time is another interesting sign. You might find yourself living more in the present moment rather than constantly thinking about the past or future. Time might seem to slow down or speed up in unusual ways. You might have moments where you feel like you're stepping outside of time altogether. Many people going through a spiritual awakening also experience a strong desire to make a difference in the world. You might feel called to help others, to work for social justice, or to care for the environment. This isn't just about doing good deeds. It comes from a deep sense of connection and compassion. Lastly, you might notice changes in how you view death. Many people report feeling less afraid of death as they go through a spiritual awakening. There's often a sense that death is not the end, but rather a transition to another state of being. This doesn't mean you want to die, but rather that you have a different perspective on the cycle of life and death. Remember, experiencing one or two of these signs doesn't necessarily mean you're going through a spiritual awakening, and you can be on a spiritual path without experiencing all of these signs. The key is to pay attention to your own experiences and trust your inner wisdom. If you feel like something is shifting inside you, if you're seeing the world with new eyes, you might very well be on the path of spiritual awakening. Now that we've talked about the signs of spiritual awakening, I want to share more about my own journey. Remember, this is just my experience. Yours might be very different. But I hope that by sharing my story, I can give you a more personal look at what this process can be like. My spiritual awakening didn't happen overnight. It was more like a series of small awakenings that built up over time. Looking back, I can see that it started during a really tough period in my life. I was in my late 20s, working a job I didn't love, and feeling pretty lost. I remember thinking, is this all there is to life? Just working, paying bills, and trying to distract myself on the weekends? The first big shift happened on a camping trip. I was sitting by the lake early one morning, watching the sun rise. Suddenly, everything seemed incredibly vivid and alive. The colors were brighter, the air felt charged with energy, and for a moment, I felt completely at peace. It was like I could feel the aliveness of everything around me, the trees, the water, even the rocks. In that moment, I knew that there was more to life than what I'd been experiencing. After that experience, I started noticing little changes. I became more aware of my thoughts and feelings. I started questioning beliefs I'd had for years. I found myself drawn to books about spirituality and personal growth. It wasn't always comfortable. Sometimes it felt like my whole world was being turned upside down. One of the biggest challenges was in my relationships. As I started to change, some of my friendships became strained. People who I used to party with couldn't understand why I suddenly wanted to spend my weekends meditating or going for hikes. My family was confused by my new interests. There were times when I felt really alone, but at the same time I was starting to feel more connected than ever before. I remember walking down a busy street one day and suddenly feeling overwhelmed with love for all the strangers around me. It was like I could see the light in everyone, even people who I would have judged or ignored before. My spiritual awakening also brought up a lot of old pain and unresolved issues. There were times when I felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster. One day, I'd feel blissed out and connected to everything, and the next day, I'd be dealing with intense fear or sadness. I learned that this is a normal part of the process. As we awaken, we often have to face and heal old wounds. One of the most profound shifts for me was in how I saw myself. I used to be really critical of myself, always feeling like I wasn't good enough. But as my awakening progressed, I started to recognize that I was more than just my thoughts and feelings. There was a deeper part of me that was always peaceful, always whole. This didn't mean I never had negative thoughts anymore, but I learned to not identify with them so strongly. My spiritual awakening also changed how I approached my work and purpose in life. I realized that I wanted to do something that felt meaningful, something that helped others. This led me to quit my corporate job and retrain as a counselor. It wasn't an easy decision, and there were plenty of fears and doubts along the way, but I felt a deep sense of rightness about it. One of the most beautiful aspects of my journey has been the sense of wonder and magic that's come into my life. I've experienced some amazing synchronicities and moments of grace that I can't explain logically. Like the time I was struggling with a big decision and asked the universe for a sign, only to have a butterfly land on my hand seconds later. Or the time I randomly bumped into the perfect person to help me with a project I was working on. Of course, going through a spiritual awakening hasn't made my life perfect. I still face challenges and difficulties. But the way I approach these challenges has changed completely. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, I now see them as opportunities for growth and learning. And even in tough times, I have access to a deep sense of peace that I never knew before. One thing I want to emphasize is that my spiritual awakening didn't take me away from the world. It actually helped me engage with it more fully. I'm more present in my relationships, more passionate about my work, more engaged in trying to make a positive difference in the world. It's like the awakening has made everything more vivid, more alive. Looking back, I can see how much I've changed. But it's not that I've become a completely different person. It's more like I've become more fully myself. I've shed layers of conditioning and false beliefs, and connected with a deeper, truer part of who I am. My journey of spiritual awakening is still ongoing. I don't think it ever really ends. There's always more to learn, more to experience, more to understand. But I'm deeply grateful for this path, even with all its challenges. It's brought a richness and depth to my life that I never could have imagined before. While a spiritual awakening can bring many positive changes, it's important to be aware that it can also come with some challenges. Understanding these challenges and knowing how to navigate them can make your journey smoother and more rewarding. One of the biggest challenges many people face during a spiritual awakening is a sense of confusion or disorientation. As you start to question long-held beliefs and see the world in new ways, it can feel like the ground is shifting beneath your feet. You might find yourself wondering, who am I really? Or what is real? This existential questioning can be unsettling, but it's a normal part of the process. To cope with this confusion, it can help to remind yourself that it's okay not to have all the answers. In fact, becoming comfortable with uncertainty is often part of the spiritual journey. Try to stay open and curious about your experiences rather than trying to figure everything out intellectually. Journaling can be a great way to process your thoughts and feelings during this time. Another common challenge is feeling isolated or misunderstood. As you go through changes that others can't see or understand, you might feel like you can't relate to people the way you used to. You might find that you no longer enjoy the same activities or conversations that you once did. This can be particularly difficult if your family or close friends don't understand what you're going through. To address feelings of isolation, it can be helpful to seek out like-minded individuals. Look for spiritual groups or workshops in your area, or join online communities of people on similar journeys. Remember, though, that it's also important to maintain connections with the people in your life, even if they don't fully understand what you're experiencing. Try to be patient with them and share your experiences in ways they might be able to relate to. Many people also experience intense emotions during a spiritual awakening. You might have periods of bliss and joy, followed by times of anger, fear, or sadness. This emotional roller coaster can be confusing and exhausting. It's often the result of old, suppressed emotions coming to the surface to be healed. To cope with these intense emotions, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or yoga can help you stay grounded when emotions are intense. It can also be helpful to work with a therapist or spiritual counselor who understands the awakening process. Physical symptoms can also be part of a spiritual awakening. Some people experience changes in sleep patterns, appetite, or energy levels. Others might have sensations like tingling, warmth, or energy moving through their body. While these experiences are usually not harmful, they can be disconcerting. To manage physical symptoms, pay attention to your body's needs. Make sure you're getting enough rest, eating well, and staying hydrated. Gentle exercise like walking or yoga can help balance your energy. If physical symptoms are severe or persistent, it's always a good idea to check with a healthcare provider to rule out any medical issues. Another challenge can be the urge to withdraw from the world. As you become more aware of the spiritual dimension of life, you might find the ordinary world less appealing. You might want to spend all your time meditating or studying spiritual teachings. While it's natural to want to devote time to your spiritual growth, it's important to stay engaged with the world. To balance your spiritual journey with everyday life, try to see your daily activities as opportunities for practice. Can you bring mindfulness to your work? Can you practice compassion in your interactions with others? Finding ways to integrate your spiritual insights into your daily life can make the journey more fulfilling and sustainable. Some people also struggle with what's sometimes called a dark night of the soul during their spiritual awakening. This is a period of deep questioning, doubt, or despair. You might feel like you've lost your way, or like everything you believed in has been stripped away. If you're going through a dark night of the soul, remember that it's a normal part of many people's spiritual journeys. It often precedes a significant breakthrough or deepening of understanding. During these times, it's important to be gentle with yourself. Reach out for support from understanding friends, a spiritual teacher, or a counselor. Trust that this difficult period will pass. Another challenge can be the temptation to use spiritual bypassing. This is when we use spiritual ideas or practices to avoid dealing with difficult emotions or life situations. For example, you might tell yourself, everything happens for a reason, to avoid feeling angry or hurt about something. To avoid spiritual bypassing, practice being honest with yourself about your feelings and experiences. It's okay to feel negative emotions. They're part of the human experience. True spirituality isn't about always feeling good, but about being present with whatever is arising, pleasant or unpleasant. Lastly, many people struggle with integrating their spiritual experiences into their everyday lives. You might have profound insights during meditation or spiritual practices, but find it hard to maintain that state of awareness when you're dealing with work stress or family conflicts. To help integrate your spiritual insights, try to create regular times for reflection and practice in your daily life. This could be a morning meditation, an evening gratitude practice, or moments of mindfulness throughout your day. Remember that spirituality isn't separate from your everyday life. It's about bringing a higher level of awareness to everything you do. Remember, these challenges are not obstacles to your spiritual growth, they are part of the growth itself. Each challenge offers an opportunity to deepen your understanding, strengthen your commitment, and grow in compassion for yourself and others. By facing these challenges with courage and self-compassion, you'll find that they can actually accelerate your spiritual growth and lead you to new levels of awareness and peace. Certainly, I'll continue with the remaining sections of the script and add a conclusion, maintaining the same style and depth as before. Now that we've talked about the challenges of spiritual awakening, let's explore the incredible gifts it can bring. While the journey isn't always easy, many people find that the benefits far outweigh the difficulties. Let's look at some of the ways a spiritual awakening can transform your life. One of the most profound gifts of spiritual awakening is a deep sense of inner peace. This isn't just about feeling calm or relaxed, it's a fundamental shift in how you experience life. Even when things are chaotic on the outside, you have access to a place of stillness within. This inner peace becomes like an anchor, helping you stay centered no matter what's happening around you. Another beautiful gift is an increased sense of connection. Many people report feeling more connected to nature, to other people, and to the world as a whole. This sense of connection can bring a profound feeling of belonging. You start to see how everything is interconnected, and you feel part of something much bigger than yourself. This can bring a deep sense of comfort and purpose to your life. Spiritual awakening often brings a greater sense of clarity and purpose. As you shed old beliefs and connect with your true self, you often get clearer about what really matters to you. You might discover a sense of mission or purpose that you never knew you had. This doesn't necessarily mean you'll suddenly know exactly what you want to do with your life, but you'll have a clearer sense of what feels authentic and meaningful to you. Many people also experience an increase in intuition and creativity. It's like you're tapping into a deeper source of wisdom and inspiration. You might find yourself having creative ideas or insights that seem to come out of nowhere. Your intuition becomes sharper, helping you navigate life's challenges with more ease and grace. Another gift of spiritual awakening is increased resilience. As you develop a broader perspective on life, you become better able to handle challenges and setbacks. Things that used to really upset you might not bother you as much anymore. You're able to see the bigger picture and trust in the unfolding of your life, even when things are difficult. Many people also report experiencing more joy and wonder in their daily lives. It's like the world becomes more vibrant and alive. You might find yourself appreciating the simple things in life more. A beautiful sunset, a kind gesture from a stranger, the taste of good food. There's a sense of magic and mystery to life that you might not have noticed before. Spiritual awakening often brings a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance. As you connect with your true nature, you start to let go of self-judgment and criticism. You begin to see your own inherent worth, not based on what you do or achieve, but simply because you exist. This self-love then naturally extends to others, increasing your capacity for compassion and understanding. Many people also experience improvements in their relationships as a result of spiritual awakening. As you become more authentic and compassionate, your connections with others often deepen. You might find that you're able to communicate more openly and honestly. You might also become better at setting healthy boundaries and choosing relationships that truly support your growth. Another gift of spiritual awakening is a shift in your relationship with time. Many people report feeling more present in their daily lives, rather than constantly worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. This presence can bring a great sense of aliveness and joy to even the most mundane activities. Lastly, spiritual awakening often brings a profound sense of gratitude. You start to appreciate the gift of life itself with all its ups and downs. Even challenges become opportunities for growth and learning. This gratitude can transform your whole experience of life, bringing a sense of richness and fullness to each day. Remember, these gifts don't usually all appear at once. They tend to unfold gradually as you continue on your spiritual journey, and they're not endpoints, but rather ongoing processes of growth and deepening. The journey of spiritual awakening is lifelong, always offering new insights and opportunities for transformation. As we've explored, spiritual awakening is a journey that unfolds naturally. But there are practices you can do to support this process and help you stay connected to your inner wisdom. Here are some simple practices that many people find helpful on their spiritual journey. Meditation is often considered one of the most powerful tools for spiritual growth. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even just sitting quietly for a few minutes each day can make a big difference. Start with 5 minutes a day of simply focusing on your breath. As thoughts come up, gently let them go and return your attention to your breath. Over time, you might find that you can sit for longer periods, but even short, regular practice can be very beneficial. Mindfulness is another powerful practice. This is about bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing in the moment. You can practice mindfulness while eating, walking, or even doing chores. Really notice the sensations, thoughts, and feelings that arise as you go about your day. This practice can help you stay present and connected to your inner experience. Journaling is a great way to process your thoughts and feelings as you go through your spiritual awakening. Set aside some time each day to write freely about your experiences, insights, and questions. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. This is just for you. You might be surprised at the insights that come up when you give yourself space to explore your inner world in this way. Spending time in nature is another simple but powerful practice. Many people find that being in nature helps them feel more grounded and connected. Try going for regular walks in a park or natural area. Really take time to notice the plants, animals, and natural features around you. You might even try practicing mindfulness while you're in nature, fully immersing yourself in the experience. Gratitude practice can be a beautiful way to shift your perspective and open your heart. Each day, take a few moments to think of 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things or small things. The important part is to really feel the gratitude in your body. Over time, this practice can help you cultivate a more positive and appreciative outlook on life. Body practices like yoga or Tai Chi can be very supportive for spiritual awakening. These practices help you connect with your physical body and energy. They can also be a form of moving meditation, helping you stay present and centered. Even if you can't attend classes, there are many online resources for learning simple sequences you can do at home. Reading spiritual texts or teachings can provide inspiration and guidance on your journey. This could be ancient wisdom texts, modern spiritual books, or anything that resonates with you. The key is to read not just for information, but for inspiration. Take time to reflect on what you read and how it applies to your life. Service or volunteering can be a powerful spiritual practice. Helping others can take you out of your own concerns and connect you with your innate compassion. This doesn't have to be formal volunteering. Even small acts of kindness in your daily life can be a form of service. Cultivating compassion is another important practice. This includes compassion for yourself as well as others. When you notice yourself or others struggling, take a moment to silently wish for ease and peace. This simple practice can open your heart and help you feel more connected to others. Lastly, remember that everyday life is your spiritual practice. Look for ways to bring awareness and presence to your daily activities. Can you practice patience while waiting in line? Can you bring mindfulness to your work tasks? Can you practice acceptance when things don't go as planned? Your whole life can become a field for spiritual growth. Remember, the key with all these practices is consistency rather than perfection. It's better to do a little bit regularly than to do a lot occasionally. Find practices that resonate with you and make them a part of your daily life. Over time, you'll likely find that these practices deepen your spiritual awakening and help you navigate the journey with more ease and grace. As we come to the end of our exploration of spiritual awakening, I want to leave you with some final thoughts. Remember, spiritual awakening is not a destination, but a journey. It's an ongoing process of growth, discovery, and transformation. There's no finish line to cross, no point at which you can say, "Okay, I'm fully awakened now." Instead, it's a continual unfolding, always offering new insights and opportunities for deeper understanding. Your spiritual journey is uniquely yours. While it can be helpful to learn from others' experiences and teachings, ultimately, your path will be shaped by your own experiences, insights, and choices. Trust your own inner wisdom. If something doesn't feel right for you, even if it's a widely respected spiritual teaching or practice, it's okay to set it aside. Your heart and your own direct experience are your best guides on this journey. Remember to be patient and kind with yourself as you navigate this path. Spiritual awakening can bring up challenges and difficult emotions. It's okay to struggle sometimes. It's okay to have doubts or to feel lost. These experiences are all part of the journey. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a dear friend. Stay open to the mystery of life. Spiritual awakening often brings us face to face with the vast unknown. There's so much about life and the universe that we can't fully understand or explain. Instead of trying to figure everything out, try to cultivate a sense of wonder and awe at the mystery of existence. This openness can bring a great sense of joy and aliveness to your journey. Don't forget to live your life fully as you pursue your spiritual growth. Spiritual awakening isn't about escaping from the world or transcending your humanity. It's about engaging more fully with life, with all its joys and sorrows, your relationships, your work, your everyday experiences. All of these are part of your spiritual journey. Look for the sacred in the ordinary moments of your life. Remember that you're not alone on this journey. Even if the people closest to you don't understand what you're going through, there are others out there who do. Seek out supportive communities or individuals who can understand and encourage you on your path. At the same time, be open to learning from everyone you meet. Every person and every experience has something to teach us if we're open to it. As you continue on your journey of spiritual awakening, know that you're participating in something truly beautiful and profound. You're part of a long lineage of humans who have sought to understand the deeper truths of existence and to live from a place of greater awareness and love. Your awakening not only transforms your own life, but it contributes to the awakening of the world as a whole. So embrace your journey with courage, curiosity, and compassion. Trust in the process, even when it's challenging. Stay open to the wonder and mystery of life. And remember, every step you take on this path of awakening is a gift to yourself, to those around you, and to the world. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual awakening. May your journey be filled with insight, growth, and joy. And may you always remember the beautiful, awakened being that you truly are.